December 2021, we've been on a journey of exploration to better understand why occupational safety, health and well-being is so fundamental to social sustainability. To wrap up the why phase, we caught up with some of our panellists who have joined us on our journey to recap on what we learned so far.
Have you and your business caught the wave yet? These are incredibly challenging times for businesses as they try to navigate their way through a hugely unpredictable landscape. Against the backdrop of the COVID-19 pandemic, many emerging crises and global social justice movements, there is a growing demand on businesses to demonstrate they look after their people. The world is watching. Consumers are increasingly aware of whether a business is socially responsible, both in how they treat their own workforces and their global supply chains. Investors want assurance that they are doing business with organisations that have good occupational safety and health at their very heart. And the workforce themselves have a significant voice. If companies want to recruit and retain the very best talent, they must look after them and show that they are valued. Added to this, governments, regulators and the media are all watching too. What we're saying is that businesses must prioritise their people alongside planet and profit to ensure their long-term future. And there's no going back from this moment. This is where occupational safety and health comes in. Over the past few months, we've demonstrated why this is through our many webinars, our resources and other forms of communication. It's clear that organisations cannot be sustainable without protecting the safety, the health and the welfare of their most vital resource, their workers.
When it comes to business impact on people, OSH has been recognized as one of the social sustainability priorities, alongside some other important topics such as living wage, modern slavery, child labor, supply chain resilience, EDI, etc. By focusing on prevention and safe and healthy workplaces, OSH contributes to social sustainability in keeping the workforce healthy, productive, and of value to both the workplaces and societies at large. With the right to safe and healthy working environment recently being included among the ILO's fundamental principles and rights at work, OSH will now be elevated high on the agenda of many more countries, which will allow the OSH profession to have even more positive impact on social sustainability.
When I came up with the triple bottom line back in 1994, it had economic, social and environmental components, none of which was terribly well understood at that point in time. Over time, the economic and environmental languages have consolidated, but the social side of things still remains somewhat wobbly. And my sense is that now that the sustainability agenda is mainstreaming, everyone will want their own branding, their own positioning and their own language. So if we think we've got problems at the moment, it can only get worse over time. So I think it's really important that we agree terms, that we have a standard set of glossaries, if you like. And I think that's one of the big challenges that faces us over the next couple of years. I think IOSH has a key role to play in that.
And so, John Elkington sets us with a challenge. Can we have a defined term? Is there a defined term with regards to social sustainability? Well, as far as IOSH is concerned, over the past 12 months, we've driven a great initiative in Catch the Wave. And our definition here is that social sustainability in the world of work is the impact employers have on people and wider society. However, we need to make sure we find common terms, and therefore we need to be broader than IOSH, broader in fact than business, and we need to go to a strategic position that we can all recognise, and that is the United Nations. So the United Nations Global Compact definition is that social sustainability is about identifying and managing business impacts, both positive and negative, on people.
Look at our network, look at our breadth of knowledge, our skills, our experience, all the different disciplines we interact with. We absolutely have to engage with them, engage with each other, if we're really going to provide an input or even a solution to aspects of social sustainability. So it's very much a team effort. But also at the end of the day, you know, what's OSH all about? Well, quite simply, OSH is about people. Social sustainability is about unlocking the power within people and helping employers drive change through organisations really harnessing that power. That's why OSH professionals absolutely need to be involved.
Well, organisations change all of the time. They change out of necessity, and we'll have to see whether things like the OSH as a fundamental human right drives change. However, from the past 2 years, we've seen how organisations had to change, they had to flex. And although we don't want to stay negatively around COVID, it is a reality that organisations had to adapt, and they did so particularly through the OSH professional. OSH was critical, and organisations and businesses and leaders at the top table recognise how important OSH was. Now, as an OSH professional, when we talk about social sustainability, we might well say, well, I've been looking after people and focusing on health for my entire career. But the difference is that through COVID and indeed after, it's the integration of the OSH professional as part of the business with other functions such as HR and at a strategic level, which makes significant change. This is the reason why OSH are so important to remain at the top table.
Businesses are facing ever-increasing levels of scrutiny regarding their OSH performance, particularly their approach to social sustainability, how they're looking after the people who work for them and the communities in which they operate. OSH for Business works with organisations to help them build their frameworks to improve their OSH cultural maturity. And with that comes the building blocks for their social sustainability strategy, with people at the heart of what they do. Importantly, this is at a strategic level, as we believe that the board or the key decision makers shape the strategy and set the tone for an organisation's attitudes and approach towards OSH. But like any journey, you need to know where you're going, but critically you must know where you're starting from. So within the programme, we look specifically at their governance and leadership aspects to assess the baseline position, in other words, the starting point. And then once we know this starting point, OSH can then work with that organisation to support them to reach their aspirational maturity point and making sure that it's appropriate and absolutely bespoke to them.
To me, sustainability requires keeping multiple balances at present and extend those balances as long as possible. On the journey of social sustainability, it requires me to stay agile, obtaining new knowledges, both in breadth and depth at all times, and constantly calibrate the current status or initiatives from ultimate goals, so I can take actions accordingly when needed. On Catch the Wave, I encounter many professionals from different industries and different fields, with similar or very different background and experiences. Whether it's being a role to share perspectives or a role to participate and learn from the others, or even just as an audience looking at the interactions of Q&A, there are always some points that can trigger new ideas or reflection, which I can apply at work, which I think is very valuable for me on this sustainability journey.
So straight away, it puts people at the very top of our agenda. It allows us to focus on a business that people want to work with and want to work for. It then allows us and gives us focus on managing the most critical risks in our organisation, and it allows us to create an agenda of sustainability with our workforce. And that's not just sustainable business model, but a sustainable industry model where we treat people well. We base our ethos on respect and caring for people and delivering great experiences, so that we can create this people-first culture and deliver measurable and tangible positive impacts in better safety, better quality, better productivity, and create interdependent communities where people want to come to work and be safe every day.
I believe that legacy is for others to determine. With occupational safety and health now being recognised as a fundamental human right, Catch the Wave should mark the point of parity between occupational health and safety, and the realisation of the societal value of effective OSH management within all organisations.
So, if you haven't caught the wave yet, it's time to do so your business doesn't get left behind. It's time to catch the wave with IOSH.